with Diesel doing our new banter style profiles.
How you doing, guys?
Gonna hit you up with some Touken Ranbu because it's a new clan. Not many people play it. It's fun.
All right, so talking about Touken Ranbu. Touken Ranbu has had 2 sets total.
Yep.
Half sets that... The first one, when it came out, it was already, like, not quite good enough to play in the meta.
Had some good single little abilities, but not as a whole.
Right. Now, in the first set, they had, what was it, two major effects. They had Shiken Satsu,
yep,
which is 3 or more damage in order to do something. And they had Homure, which was, if you are attacking, you can do this effect, but you can only do it 1 Homure effect per turn. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, what is up with the new Touken Ranbu stuff that...
So... My build doesn't play it, but they did get the third keyword in this set, Nito Kaigon, which is when your Touken Danshi Wakazashi boost a Touken Danshi Uchigatana, get an effect. So this is the first race-specific archetype, or keyword.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's in the type form of things. That's cool, because we've been expecting that out of Vanguard for a while, and this is like the first hint of that coming out. And we all know that in Rummy Labyrinth, they're coming out with a card that requires a ghosty to do something in particular, or ghost to do something in particular. So that should be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started, because I know almost nothing about Touken Ranbu, so I'm going to need...
So keeping it simple, our starter is Sayosama Toku. And he's a good little guy. He's got 4 runner, 5k, normal starter. He's GB1, Counterblast 1, put him into your soul. If you have 5 cards in your damage zone, choose one of your units, it gets +5 and a crit until end of turn.
Okay, so it gives power and a crit?
Yep.
That's no problems there.
And units, so can put it on anything. Can put it on Rears, can put it on Van. Super good. LB5's kind of lame, but meh.
Yeah.
For trigger lineup, it's pretty simple. So we're playing 2 of this draw, Akita Toshiro, he's a common. We're playing him in particular because he has Toshiro in the name, and I'll explain how that comes in handy later. But we're going to be running a lot of Toshiros just for Toshiro in their name.
Alright, so 2 Toshiro draws.
Then we're running 4 of the draw that you're actually going to run. Amano Tsurugi Toku. And he's put this unit into your soul, unflip 1 on a draw trigger.
Oh, nice.
Counterblast has been a real issue in Touken, having something that just point and click solves it feels good.
Yeah, dude. Countercharge?
Oh, yeah.
On a draw? I'll take it.
Rest of our triggers, you can run any of the Toshiro crits. I'm running 2 Yagen Toshiro, just a 5k. 2 Maeda Toshiro. And 2 Hirano Toshiro Toku. I'm just running all 3 because I like having all the different arts, but all that matters is that you're playing 6 crits with Toshiro in the name.
6 Toshiro crits.
And then finally, 4 heals, because every deck plays 4 heals, and we're running Atsushi Toshiro Toku, because what luck, a heal with Toshiro feels good.
Why not, right? Okay.
So for our 1 lineup, we're running, it's 3 of each, but they're kind of cards that go together. And it's Namazuo Toshiro Toku, another Toshiro, and Honebami Toshiro Toku. So we're running each at 3. So these 2 each have interesting effects. They each have the skill that, for paying a cost, they can bounce back to hand at the end of your turn. Him Counterblast 1, him Soul Blast 2. They also have GB1 skills. When they're placed in guard circle, he can Soul Blast 1 to unflip 1, and he can Counterblast 1 to Soul Charge 2. So you can bounce them, then guard with them, and then get their cost refunded. So I really like them because they're Toshiro, and if you don't use their bounce skills, they're just a Soul Blast 1 unflip or a Counterblast 1 Soul Charge 2 to get what you need to pay cost.
And they're both 7k boosters, so
yeah,
that's all plus. Like, that's all upside.
For perfs, I'm running 4 Kosetsu Saimonji. He's the perfect guard G for the clan. On place if there's 1 in drop zone, unflip a damage.
Okay, Vanguard only block, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're playing him just because unflip.
Yeah, getting that counter charge is important.
So we're also running 4 of our stride fodder, the normal Amano Tsurugi, not the draw, the Toku. And that's another thing with this clan. The Tokus are all their second versions in the second set. And what the Toku actually is in the game is when any of these guys, because they're all swords, when you get them to level 25, they become Toku status. And that's when they turn into the new ones. So I thought it was really cool that they did a kind of level up thing in Vanguard too.
Yeah.
So he's got your basic stride fodder effect, plus 2 grade. Instead of searching for a boss grade 3 like all the others, he has the effect, put him into your soul, choose one of your grade 4 or greater units. Until end of turn it gets plus 5k, and on hit, soul charge 1, unflip 2.
Oh, okay. So soul charge 1, counter charge 2, and that's a stride because it's 4 or greater, right?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's these.
Or sorry, soul blast 1, unflip 2, but yeah.
Soul blast 2 unflip.
Yeah, so he lets you have some more damage.
Yeah.
And that's the one lineup. For 2, I'm running 3 of Izumi no Kami Kanesada. He's from the first set, and he's Shinken Hisatsu, so limit break 3. Soul Blast 1, when this unit's boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, until end of turn, this unit gets plus 3, and at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, so all he has to do is attack, and he can attack anything. Choose one of your units with the Shinken Hisatsu ability in the back row, and return it to hand.
Oh, sweet. So
I like him for early game, kind of counter rush plays. If they take you to 3, when you go into 2, you put him, place a whole field, bounce it all back, so you still have a hand after going aggro back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running 4 Hizamaru. He's a new guy. So he's got Shinken Hisatsu. This unit gets plus 3, and once a turn, GB2, when you drive check a grade 3, stand this unit. So I'm running him at 4 because restanding on a grade 3 drive check is pretty solid in its own. But he also combos with one of the strides that I'll explain a little later. And the big grade 2 that is really, really fun is Heshikiri Hasabe. So he's got Home Array. Home Array is once a turn, you may play a Home Array ability if you meet its conditions. Regardless of how many Home Array abilities you have, you can only use 1 a turn. So his is, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. Counterblast 1. If you do, stand this unit, it gets plus 3 and gains the ability. This unit cannot attack a Vanguard until end of turn and can instead attack a unit in the back row.
I love that card.
So turn 2, especially if people aren't reading it, because apparently people just don't like reading token, you'll swing on their van, they'll take the 1 damage, and it's counterblast 1, swing on your booster, and everything just goes, what?
Yeah. And you know, like, trigger's still affected, so it's like, oh yeah, I attack your Vanguard. Okay, fine, I don't block. Cool, crit trigger, 5,000 power. Then stand, swing on your rear guard with something that you have to block with 10k or more. And they're just like, oh.
So for grade 3, running something that I thought the clan really needed and we finally got in a really cool way, I'm running 4 of each of our Legion pair, Jirotachi and Taratachi Toku. So Touken, in their effort to be different, came up with the first Legion that they're both grade 3s, and they have the wings on each side. Regardless of who you ride, they can Legion with the other guy. So in this deck, riding grade 3...
So they dual Legion.
Yep. The other ones all say, like all the other dual Legions, is a grade 3 that can choose one of 2 2s. These guys just Legion into each other no matter who you ride. So super consistent. And what's really cool is Jirotachi Toku's ability is, and they're both 11k, so 22k base Legion, is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. When he attacks a van, if he's in Legion, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 cards in your hand, put them into Soul, choose up to 2 units in front row. They get plus 5 until end turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he just gives 4 units in your front row plus 5 for his cost. So that's pretty cool, spreading out 20k across your front line, because 5 here, 5 this booster, 5 to each of your legions. His skill is actually pretty familiar. It's Counterblast 1, choose 2 cards from hand, put them into your soul. That's where this comes in. When he attacks a Vanguard and Legion, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand all of your Vanguards get -1 drive until end of turn. At the end of the battle, stand all your Vanguards. So they're kind of a PBA pair in that regard, which Touken Ranbu getting a card as good as PBA was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you know, like the fact that it has a soul charge mechanic that helps with all the little soul blasts that come from earlier stuff. So you can keep refiltering your damage. You can keep standing side units to attack the Vanguard and then attack the rear guard. You know, like That's really good combo potential.
And that's the reason we're playing 6 draws, is to just throw your extra cards into Soul for their skills. Also, while I do play the Legion pairs, this deck is very stride oriented, so I can't say I go into Legion too much, but it's a really nice out considering you're playing 6 draws and a stride, I'll explain in a second, that has 4 drive checks. Okay, so our first little throwaway stride we're playing is 2 Hotaru Maru. So normally I just flip this guy up to pay for cost, but every now and then he's good. He's a Home Array skill. Choose a face down card in your G-Zone named Hotaru Maru, flip it face up, and rest 5 of your rear guards. If he hits a van, you can restand him at -2 drive. So if they have a small hand, you can go into Hotaru Maru and usually get the restand for some extra damage, but again, he's in here for situational reasons. I like playing a very big open G-Zone and token because it's a clan that wants to adapt to situations.
Okay.
So for our strides that are doing the actual work, 2 Iwatoshi. Iwatoshi is so good. He's Counterblast 1, flip up a copy of himself once a turn, not GB restricted, so it can be your first stride. This unit gets the skill. He battles all of your units and your opponent's units in the front row in 1 attack. Being able to play kind of a passive game early and then just wipe their front row with a van attack is super useful, and him putting you at GB2 while doing it is even better.
So he's a stride Vermilion.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty boss. That's pretty...
Taking it back to the good old Vermilion days. Now past that, him putting you at GB2 lets you do a lot of interesting things from that point on. So another first stride option, if they don't have a front row, you can go into Surumaru Kuninaga Toku, and he's Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, flip up a copy of himself. Choose a grade 3 and a grade 2 from your drop zone. Put them both on rear, so you get to bring them back, kind of a grand blue effect in token, which is cool. And if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, at the end of battle, choose one of the units called with this effect and return it to hand.
Okay.
So you still get to keep the other rear guard, and you can just bounce a 3 back to hand to make sure you stride next turn.
It's funny because this is supposed to be the banter style, but this deck is like really straightforward in what it's supposed to do. Like everything fires off exactly like it sounds very.
Yeah, all of your strides are very. There's a situation that you're gonna use this one for.
Mm-hmm.
So our big game ender guy we're playing is 2 Nihonguo, and he's really cool. So he's GB2, Counterblast 1, flip up a copy of himself. Until end of battle, he gets +3 for each of your rear guards that are standing, and your opponent cannot call perfects to guard circle.
That's awesome.
Nihongo is so cool.
It's a Diablo-esque effect, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you the ability to block. See, I'm really glad that they gave it some workable stuff in the second set, because in the first set it was like, oh, it's really close to being a decent deck. And now feels like a decent deck. Like
yeah. We actually, last week, our 30-man tournament was won by Touken Ranbu.
That's right.
Playing this G-Zone. So we're running 2 Ishikiri Maru Toku. This, you guys know Chrono Fang Rebellion. It's a clone of him in Token, because all of our strides are pretty much clones. So he's a Shinken Hisatsu, limit break 3, Counterblast 1, choose a face-down card from your G-Zone, anything, turn it face up. When this unit attacks, if all of your units are at rest, which means your other rear is already attacked and he has a boost, or you have no booster, you may pay the cost. If you do, until end of battle, this unit gets +10,000, and if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 3 or more, he gets +1 crit, +1 drive. Double crit quad drive at +10,000 is really, really strong.
Right.
And his cost is so much more menial than Chrono Fang's. He's super solid, and being able to run 2 and go into him twice, unlike the other guys that flip themselves up, is super useful.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to have a full field to use his ability either.
Nope.
So if you are just like, you're just like not hitting the rear guards that you need or playing against a rear guard intensive retire deck, you can just not have any rear guards on the board and be like, fine then, play him, do it. And he's still by himself, what, 36? Double crit quad drive? Yeah.
Quad drive is so good.
Oh man, that's sick.
Our other big game ender, we're running only 1 Mikazuki Munachika. He's the original one, not the Winkin one. He is once a turn, counterblast 1, choose any card from your G zone, turn it face up. For each card in your G zone, he gets +3 until end of battle. For every 2 face-up cards in your G zone, you retire one of your opponent's rears in the front row. If the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, he gets +1 crit until end of turn. Munechika is kind of like our clan's own better Blizza, because he has a lot of utility in his retire, and he gets a free crit, so he's so good late game.
He only gets better the further down the row you go. It's like, oh, well, you know, I rode into my big finisher, and for some reason it didn't work. Guess I'll rode into Munechika, completely clear your field, and get these excess. And you can do that now with Munechika too, because it's for every 3 you get to retire. And because the G zone is 16 cards now, you can get all the way up to 5, you know, if you have to.
Yeah, he's only front row, which is his fair drawback, but that's usually where important guys are.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're playing against like Aquaforce or something.
Oh yeah.
You know, one of the big meta decks where the 2s matter.
Getting rid of those pesky 2s is really good. For G guards, we're running 2 Koset Saimon Jitoku. In the second set, he made it from a perfect all the way to a G guard. So he actually is super straightforward. He's your base 15k, or 15 plus, and then he's got Shinken Hisatsu, Soul Blast 1 plus 10k extra shield. Limit Break 3, Soul Blast plus 10k shield.
Yeah.
Doesn't get easier. We're also running 1 Dismal, which I have somewhere, but I think we all know Dismal.
Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and edit in a Dismal over here real quick. Bop.
When you G-Guard with Dismal, you can choose one of your rear guards, and it gets the effect, until end of turn, this unit cannot be targeted by your opponent or hit. It's useful to protect things like Hizumaru's. I like Dismal just because some things you want to protect during games.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's an effect that that shows an opponent that they can't just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times your opponent's like, oh, well, I'm going to attack and use blah, blah, blah to retire your rear guard, and it's going to be hilarious. And you just go, okay, no.
Nope.
Never mind. Whatever you just said doesn't happen. No. Sorry. You're also not going to get to hit him just in case.
For our final G-Guard, we're running 1 Juzumaru Sunetsugu. It's Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit's placed on guard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's attacking units, so anything, and it gets minus 10,000 until end of turn. If a Vanguard is chosen with this effect, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So Juzumaru is so good against restanders.
So it's like a G-Guard Shiryuki?
Yep.
Is that what's going on? That's awesome.
Yep. It's works on rears, works on vans. It's so good for all the restanding shenanigans that are in meta right now. And think about bumping it up to 2, but it is a G-Guard, GR, so 1 should be fine.
Yep. Okay. So there's one more card, right?
Yep. So the final card I'm running in G Zone, and I saved this one for last, is because I want to start explaining some combos. Is we're running 1 Ichigo Hitafuri Toku. So he's got the skill. If you have 2 or more rear guards with Toshiro in its card name, this unit gets plus 10,000. And then if you have 2 or more face-up Ichigos in your G Zone, he gets plus a crit. We're never going to get that effect. We don't even really care about the 10k power, it's just nice. The effect we care about is his once a turn. Counterblast 1, choose a face-down card from your G Zone and turn it face-up. Choose any number of your rear guards with Toshiro in the card name, and they get plus 6,000 until end of turn.
Oh, no.
So I'm playing him as the one-of tech because we've all had those games where you're playing somebody, they've got like 3 cards in hand, you go for that final turn, and it's like, I can barely stride. 2 5k triggers in a column's not going to hit you. So you're playing against him, you call a crit here, heal here, 2 more crits over here, use his skill, 6, 6, 6, 6. You now have 2 22k columns out of triggers.
Right. And I mean, and there's Toshiros that are better than that in the deck. So you can just be like, yeah, I have my normal column, except it's plus 12k better. Welcome to hell, you know? That's what I love about Touken, is that, like, a lot of times I don't like decks that just go into straight bigger numbers.
Yeah.
But Touken does it in a way that makes it feel good. You feel good when you set up a shit row that becomes something worth playing, you know, rather than just being like, oh yeah, 3 obnoxious rows of obnoxious numbers that were going to happen regardless of what I did.
Yep.
And it feels like you're playing to think. So, is there another combo you want to...
Yeah, actually. So the big reason we're playing Hizumaru is because our stride, where is he? Ishikara Marutoku. Ishikara Marutoku is so good, and his only drawback is his whole skill with all of your rears needing to be rested. So you stride into him, you can swing Hizumaru. His skill, Shinken Hisatsu, gives him +3, which you need the Shinken Hisatsu for Ishikara Marutoku anyway. So he'll be a 12k. So 12 at him, 12 at him. So you got 2 attacks on their van. Now that all of your rears are rested, you've hit his condition. So you can swing with him, get his full skill. He's got 4 drive checks. So with his 4 drive checks, on any of these, if he hits a grade 3, their skills trigger, which restand them. So you still got your 4 drive checks and your double crit, and you can apply triggers to rear guard still because now they're standing. And that's why I play 4 Hizumaru, just to make this stride even more worth it. Because Touken's a team game. Certain guys help other guys, and inevitably you try to go for that end game.
Guys helping guys, I'm in. This deck is what most games would call a toolbox deck.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of low copies of good cards so that you can shift your style of play based on what your opponent's playing. Now, the downside to those kind of decks is they require thought.
Yeah.
You got to use your head when you're playing with a toolbox deck, because you got to look at what your opponent is good at and then go, okay, what cards am I playing that can counteract that situation?
And the big thing with decks like this is other decks, you're like, okay, I'll go into my ace. Oh, it didn't win? Okay, let's go into it next stride. With like this deck, you have 1 Nihongo turn a game. That's it. Use it when it's smartest.
Right. You can't just blow it on something. But in the same manner, you have more options against a variety of players. And a lot of decks in Vanguard don't let you do that. So I am all about try out Touken Toolbox. It's worth the play. Now, budget-wise, how bad was it?
I actually built it right at the sneak, so it was a little annoying, but none of the cards actually run too much. Most of the strides are $6. Most of the G guards are only 5. The GR, I think, fell down to 10 already. So I would definitely consider Touken a budget deck.
Okay. So, I mean, that puts the main deck build somewhere around 60, and the stride deck about the same. So, I mean, in Vanguard, that is very cheap. And, of course, like, players have to take Touken Ranbu sometimes because their store overordered or whatever.
Yep.
And so you can usually find someone who's got a Touken Ranbu double rare or higher that just didn't want it in the first place.
Yep.
So it'd be really easy to trade for, save a little money on that trade bait.
And the cool and obnoxious thing about playing a toolbox deck is it's a little annoying with Touken Ranbu because not many people are pulling it, but you only have to find 1 to 2 of cards. Like commons and rares, you can always find play sets. The strides, if someone pulls 1, you're like, cool, that's all I'll ever need forever.
Right. Now, how much of this deck can you fake out of the trial that came out?
So the trial deck, it actually doesn't have anything you play in the G zone, which was kind of sad, but in general in Touken, people are playing the grade 3 out of the trial deck, who's super strong. And a lot of the triggers you can pull out of the trial deck and play. A lot of the 2s you can play out of the trial deck. I would definitely start it as a base for a deck.
Okay.
And that's the other thing that's really cool with Touken Ranbu is, this is my look on it, with like the double legion and the little toolboxy stuff. You can also play a full Nido Kaigon deck and it's strong, a full Shinken Hisatsu and it's pretty good. Home Array is a little questionable because they didn't print too many more cards in the second set. But there's a million, Pure Toshiro is a good deck. There are a million ways to play Touken and you can really let your imagination run wild on it.
That'd be great. Well, I think that if we get a chance, I'd like to show players another version of Touken. But I really liked Touken the first time around, and I thought that it was really undervalued for what it was. And now they've brought out even more support. So again, guys, I encourage you, go out and give Touken Ranbu a shot, see how it plays. Anything else that needs to be added about the deck?
Not that I can think.
All right, then I guess we will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Announcing the IYG Stand-Up Series. Experience a new level of competition. Face fighters from across the country. Meet your favorite personalities. Ash, Diesel, Propellant, Let's Play card games together. Stand up, Vanguard. Imagine your goddess.